Oh, it's slow motion when we're dosing. It's slow motion roller coaster.
What's up? I'm Sara. I'm a writer and first-time interviewer at Banded PR. And I am joined today by the one and only Henry the Chap, who just dropped his debut solo single, Doh Puh Meen. How's it going, Henry?
It's going great, Sarah. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And yeah, everything is good. It's been a great first release. So all is wonderful in my world.
That's great. Very good. Very cool. So today, I just want to help introduce the world to Henry the Chap, who he is, what he does, why he does it, what he's doing next, all that good stuff. So
Absolutely.
let's start out with some origin story stuff. Your last name obviously isn't the Chap. So where did that name come from? What kind of inspired that?
So with that, a lot of my friends in New York, I don't know for what reason, whether it's because I'm British, I think it's the British thing. They just started calling me Chap. They were like, hey, young chap, or hey, chap. And then I have a little online gamer world in the world of FIFA and Call of Duty, and that's also I decided upon my nickname amongst my friends to call myself Henry the Chap, and that stuck. And so when I was deciding to embark on this solo project adventure, I thought, what would be the most appropriate name for this? And I was like, well, everyone calls me the Chap over here, so I guess Henry the Chap, right? So it literally just comes from that.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it's super simple. There's no like deepness behind it. Yeah, but it's kind of personal because it's like a close thing between me and my buddies here in New York. So yeah, so I guess it's special. It means a lot to me. So
well, that's good. I'm glad that it means something special. So, as your best sort of short story elevator pitch kind of thing, who is Henry the Chap?
Well, he kind of came to life most throughout this lockdown, weirdly. He's a basement dwelling cat man who spends his time making beats and songs in his basement studio in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. And that's probably the best summary of me. Throughout the lockdown, I kind of went through moments of feeling really down and kind of low. And so my answer to that was, let me do something that I love, which I've loved doing for years, which is make music. It was an easy answer to deal with the big sad, so to speak. So, and I couldn't have done it without my squishy, doughy calico cat, Princess Mae Mae, who was a rescue cat. She came from the streets. She was found in an abandoned storefront, and my buddy rescued her, my buddy's wife rescued her. He had a plethora of rescued animals. When he heard I was thinking of getting a cat from a rescue place, he was like, please take this cat. And it was Princess Mae Mae. She helped me through it, and she's like the alter ego of me, I guess. So it's like Henry the Chap and Princess Mae Mae.
That's cool. I was going to ask you about Princess Mae Mae, so I'm glad you talked about her.
Yeah.
So was there a specific reason that you decided to pursue a solo project?
There was no specific reason. Honestly, it was more so that I was writing and making music that was not completely, that didn't really suit the kind of music that I do with my brother, which is a whole other project, Ruin Brothers, which has been going for years. This was just something different, and I thought, heck, well, it's unlikely that we're going to put this kind of music out, but I still want people to hear it. Like, I've enjoyed making it, and it means a lot to me, and it's close to me, and I think it's fun, and it's so I was like, heck, why don't I just start recording this and like get it out there, you know?
Yeah. So for people who haven't heard the song yet, how would you describe this sound?
I would say there's definitely like a lo-fi quality to it. That's probably just because of how I went about recording it. It's my basement. I like that kind of like feel, and it was very suited to sort of like my low lit twilighty basement that I exist in. And it's definitely an alternative experimental kind of sound. The first single, Doh Puh Meen, is a little bit more, I guess it's got some more pop elements to it with the way the chorus is and all that sort of stuff. There's some hip hop elements to it. Like, I'm a big hip hop fan as well. As we like go along in this project, more songs keep dropping. Like the next song that drops, for example, is way trippier than this. So I'm excited to see what people think and like how they react to it as these songs keep like coming out and it keeps building and growing, you know.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to hear the next thing because I really liked Doh Puh Meen. I keep listening.
Thank you.
It's just,
I appreciate that. That's the thing that I wanted to do with this music as well. It's like, I feel like when people listen to music, it's their time to kind of escape reality for a little moment. It certainly is for me. So when you do that, you kind of want to either like you want to feel something while you listen to it, or you want to have fun while you listen to it, or that's the purpose. That's why people make music. It's essentially a bit of an escape. So I wanted this to be that for people because it was for me. So yeah, that's kind of how I go about. That's what I think about when I write. Some people are just like, I just write for me. I do what it, and essentially I was writing for me, but it was also in mind, like, if anybody listens to this, I also want them to like have fun with it. So that's always been my approach with writing and music.
That's cool. That's cool. So with Doh Puh Meen, does this song have any sort of personal significance to you that you would want to share?
Yeah, I had a lot of hazy moments throughout the lockdown. You can take that however you wish. But yeah, I had a lot of hazy moments where, you get in your head, and it was a period throughout lockdown which, this was the second song I wrote out of a bunch of songs, and so. I think I was writing it like late one night when I was just feeling kind of low and foggy, and and it all stemmed just from that. And with it being a song that I kind of, that was sort of written at the beginning of this project, it was. I guess it kind of set up the rest of the rest of the songs and the rest of the writing. It kind of helped influence that. It was like the spark. It was like one of the sparks, the kind of catalyst to the whole, like, this whole thing. So yeah, it's very personal. It's very, and you can take from it what you will. I think it's fairly self-explanatory. But yeah, so that's the sort of backlog of all of that.
So this song and this project you've been working on, it's self-produced, right?
So it is in part.
Okay.
It started off self-produced. So I started just making beats in my basement studio. I started making these beats, and I start everything with an acoustic guitar. So I start with an acoustic guitar. I start playing. I'm like, let me figure out the keys part to this because I'm not a piano player, but I can get around a keyboard if I get my head locked in. So start with an acoustic guitar, and then I go into start building a project. So first thing I do is get a tempo that feels like a good groove. I bash out a beat. I always make my beats. I don't sample stuff. Like, it's just, I guess I'm a little bit more old school that way. I know people like to take stuff, chop it about, lay it down, but I like to just make everything from scratch. So it's truly, original to me. So I start off with a beat. I then put a keys part down. I then put a vocal down, and then I maybe add some guitar. I maybe put bass line in. I'm not a super great engineer. I can produce stuff. I have like a vision in my head of how I want it to be, but sometimes I'm not versed enough yet in like getting it all together. And I hit up my buddy on New Year's Eve, a producer, writer, mixer out west. He's an old friend of mine who I met at Rick Rubin's Shangri-La Studios years ago, and we stayed friends. A guy called Sean Oakley, and he's an awesome dude, a really close friend of mine. And I told him about the project. Said, hey man, I'm writing all this music. I'm putting down like a basic structure. Do you want to like? Would you be interested if I decide to like develop this? Would you be interested in like I don't know, like coming on board and helping make this together? And he was like, yeah man. He was like, well, send me these ideas so I get an idea. And but yeah, it sounds cool. And so I had just a bunch of acoustic voice notes on a SoundCloud link, and I shot them to him, and he was like, okay, I can see the sound dope. Yeah, let's do it. And so he then brought on another couple of guys onto the project. One guy who, Mikey Wagner, who's a fantastic, also writer, instrumentalist, producer, engineer. He plays with Andrew, I want to pronounce his name right, Andrew Mahan in The Wilderness. And then another guy he brought on, Mike Champion, who's he's in a band called Champs. He also plays and produces for a band called Wet Leg. Another guy called Michael Benjamin. Sean brought on a couple of really cool guys, and we all just became this family spread around the world. Like Mike Champion was in the Isle of Wight, Mikey and Sean were in LA, I'm in New York, and together we sort of, between the four of us, we either produced, wrote, laid down instruments, you know, all together it came about. So I didn't do this on my own. I had help from some awesome people, and I'm very thankful for that, because everybody did it just because they wanted to, because they thought it was fun. And that's why we do this, because it's fun. Like, I think a lot of people forget that about the industry. Like, oh, we got to do it this way, we got to make it this way. Essentially, you make music because it's a fun thing to do, and we all came together and did this for fun. And so let's just see where it goes. You know.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, is there anything you can tell us about this project at this point?
Well, there's gonna be. I want to make sure that I'm putting out just like a stream of stuff for people to like. I know some people will drop something, then they'll disappear for a while, then they'll drop something like months later. I'm gonna have a drop next month. I'm gonna have a drop the month after that. I'm gonna do some live sessions. I'm gonna start dropping at the top of the year, song after song after song, because we write and make and produce songs every week. So why not, you know? And you know, I'm gonna start having custom merch drops. There's gonna be a merch drop for Doh Puh Meen that we just did. This cat I designed. This is a prototype. It's not going to be this. It's going to be a little change up. But yeah, I'm making clothes. I want to start performing. I want to start playing this live as well. You know, I've got some live session stuff about to drop. An acoustic session that Rupert actually helped me out with, playing some keys on for Doh Puh Meen, that's going to come in the next week or two. So what's ahead? I have a plan. There's going to just be a constant flow of music and clothes and art and animation. I've got a bunch of crazy cool animations coming from this awesome Brisbane-based animator called Helena. I've got to try and pronounce the surname right. Helena Papagiorgio. I think that's it. Please correct me, Helena, if I pronounce that wrong. She's incredible, and I've been a fan of her work for a while. And when I wanted to start making some visual stuff for this project, I reached out to her, not really expecting to like hear back. But she came back and she was like, yeah, I like the music. I've been wanting to actually make something with cats because I dig cats. So I was like, okay, good one, Mae Mae. You won this one for me. So yeah, there's just, it's just gonna, I just want to make sure there's just a flow of music and art and sessions and clothes and all sorts of things. It's just going to be a constant flow of that stuff. So that's what's ahead, and we'll see what comes from all of that. Yeah.
That sounds cool. I dig the hat.
Thank you.
That's really
Thank
neat.
you. Yeah, it's going to be out real soon. It's going to be out real soon.
Cool, cool. So you kind of just talked about this, but I wanted to talk about the music video because it
Yes.
feels like this hybrid of this like charming homemade live action kind of thing, but then My
Yeah.
Neighbor Totoro animation.
Yeah.
How did that vision come about, and what was it like kind of turning it into something real?
Yeah, completely. Well, I kind of, I want to say like my wife got me more into anime, and I'm not like a super huge, like, you know, I'm not there watching every episode of Attack on Titans. I'm not that kind of anime guy. Like the Studio Ghibli stuff, I was started on that. I was introduced to like the world of animation with like My Neighbor Totoro, and I fell in love with that stuff. I was like, this is beautiful. The storylines are great. The music's cool. And that started this sort of like love for that. And being down in my like basement world making this music, like when I'll chill at night, sometimes we'll just throw on an old anime and watch that, and I'll play my music to it. And I'm just like, this is cool. This is the kind of vibe. And so when I thought about visuals and a music video for this, I was like, I'd love there to be an animated quality to this, because it's kind of been a bit of an inspiration to my writing, and I just think it would be a cool thing to do. So I was like, I'd seen Helena's work for a while, and I was like, let me see if I can get her involved. She wanted to be involved. And then when I was finishing making the record, we did it all remotely. So, you know, we were sending ideas back and forth and working on our own end. And then as the record was kind of coming together and finishing up, I was like, heck, let me just take a trip out to LA for a week and like get this done. And when I did that, my very close friend, Chris D'Agostino, who's an amazing photographer, shoots everything on film. I was like, hey man, I'm going out to LA to finish this up with Sean and Mikey. And, you know, I'm going to be out for like a week. Do you want to come and take some pics? And, you know, he's a really good friend of mine. He's really close to me. He was like, yeah, I'll come on out. I'll shoot it. It'll be some fun. So he came out and he started shooting some behind the scenes stuff while we were out in the studio. And also I have like a bunch of like little footage just from my, like throughout the lockdown, being in the basement, just stupid, funny stuff between me and the cat and myself. I'm a bit of a ridiculous human being, I think, at times. So it probably makes the somewhat entertaining content. So between home video footage that I've got here, video footage that we took larking around like LA, and then the animated stuff, I was like, what should I do for a music video for Doh Puh Meen? It's like a whole video of animation. That's a lot of work. I don't know, like that's a lot of work for like Helena to do. She has a busy schedule. I'm like, okay, what else could I do? Should I do like a candid music video? Should I do like a thing where I'm like, and I was like, no, maybe let's just make like something very personal, which was just a clip together of a bunch of like home video footage. I also did a bit of like music video-esque footage of me against this, like pretty much against this backdrop. And I said to Rupert, is my brother, is an incredible video editor. And I said, hey, I need a little help with this. I can do it myself. I've been teaching myself how to do it. I was like, but you're going to do it much better. Have you got time to help me out on this? And he was like, yeah, no problem. And it literally took him probably like a day, and he just clipped it all together. And that's how it was made and how it came about. And I'm really happy with it, because although it's not like, you know, it doesn't look like a polished 100K music video, but I shared it amongst a bunch of friends like before it came out, and they were like, I really like this. It actually kept me watching the whole way through. It was entertaining, and that's all I really wanted. So that was sort of how it came about, how it was put together, and I'm super happy with the results. So
Yeah, I think it came out really cool, for
thank
sure.
you.
Yeah. So what are you hoping this journey into the solo realm, I guess, where are you hoping it takes you? Like small dreams, big dreams, all of it?
I always have big dreams for everything. I always think, you know, when I write music, when I perform, whatever it is, I'll give it 110. So I don't do anything that's less than 110%. So you never really know, and I've learned this through just the experience of life, you never really know where anything's going to take you. You can only prepare and you can only plan so much. And I do all of that stuff. I prep and plan things meticulously. And you can have a vision and a goal, and hopefully it hits that vision goal. My vision goal is that this will have a whole life and a whole journey and be a whole thing that enables me to keep doing it, keep making music, keep, you know, in whatever capacity that is, you know, like Room Brothers is always going to be, it'll always be making music, it'll always be releasing stuff, writing music for film, you know, all that kind of stuff. That'll always be. This will always be. Like, we're already halfway through the second record and the first song's just dropped. So, you know, kind of obsessive about it. And I think if you can make your obsession your life, then that's the dream. So if this can just continue and I can just keep making music and surviving, and, you know, then I'm happy. That's all I really want. Do I think I should be winning Grammys? Probably, you know. But we'll see. We'll see what the future brings. We'll see what the future brings.
That would be the coolest thing, to see you on the Grammys. That would be
yeah, I'll get there eventually. I always say it. I'm like, when I win a Grammy, I can die happy, you know, or get featured on a Tarantino film. Yeah, I'll be happy, you know, I die happy, whatever. I've yet to do either of those things, but it'll come.
So I know this chat has been just about you and your new solo adventure, but I have to ask, because you know I love Ruin Brothers.
Yeah,
Is there anything new or exciting coming up for Ruin Brothers that you can share?
Absolutely, yeah. There'll be some more releases throughout next year with the project. We've got some seriously cool songs ahead with that. We've also just partnered with, we've got a company like looking after us now based in Los Angeles that specialize in music for film, TV, video games, composition stuff. So we're hoping to also grow that into a space where we're making music for like composing scores for films and TV shows and all that good stuff. And, you know, so we're working on, we work on pitches for that stuff, you know, every other week. And that's really fun and a whole new element to Ruin Brothers. You know, we want to do more, like we have a big love for music for film, and we would love to be, you know, as I'll keep saying it because you gotta speak it into existence. I wanted it before Tarantino stops making films. I gotta either have one song in there or whatever. I don't care what it is. So Room Brothers will be pushing for all that good stuff, and we're hoping to get back on the road, do some touring. We were messaging with Orville Peck recently about reorganizing some form of tour together. So hopefully that'll come off next year. But yeah, we'll make sure to be updating people as that keeps going along.
Very cool. In your music in a Tarantino movie would be, yeah. I mean, it would work. It would be perfect, I think.
I'm like, come on, Quentin, like, we're here, like. and also like with this project as well, I'd love for it to find a world in like either video games or like anime. I think it would be a dope fit for anything in that sort of realm. So, you know, heck, Studio Ghibli, yeah, I'm here as well. So, you know, let's we'll just see how it all goes. We're pushing and working towards it all. So yeah.
Good deal. So last thing I've got for you is is there anything that I didn't ask you about that you want to talk about?
I think you're awesome, and you asked all of the great questions. All I'll simply do is plug myself and this release. Let's go and stream it, share it, it really does help. A lot of people and a lot of friends, a lot of like, think that, oh, what does it matter if I just like it or whatever? But it does. It helps spread the word. It helps, whatever, trigger the algorithms. That's a sad world that we live in. We live in an algorithmic world online now. So go show it love, spread it around. There's more dope stuff coming. I got more releases. I got clothing drops. I got all this good stuff coming. So I know we went over that, but I'll just reiterate it for everybody.
Good deal. Nothing wrong with self-promotion.
That's right. You gotta do it today.
All right. Well, that's all I have for you. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me.
Of course. No, and I want to just say a big thank you to you as well. I appreciate you doing this. We're doing it on a Sunday afternoon. I appreciate you taking the time, and I truly appreciate your support throughout all the music that that I've been producing. And I'm super happy that like my first like recorded interview is with somebody that really truly cares and loves this stuff. So a big thank you to you. I really mean that. And hopefully I'm on that Grammy stage and you'll be interviewing me at that point. That's what we want to get to, right?
That would be insane. I love that. All
Yeah.
right. Well, lovely Banded viewers, go stream Doh Puh Meen wherever you get your digital music. Go do that right now once this is over. Keep up with Henry the Chap on social media to see all the scoop about new music and the new merch stuff and all the good stuff, and Princess Mae Mae, of course.
And Princess Mae Mae, of course.
Yes. And make sure you're following Banded PR too. See you around.
Awesome. Peace, guys.
Oh, it's slow motion.